I love
Hi,
it.
everybody. I hope you like my musical choice for you, Jeffrey.
I love it. I love it. Where'd you get it?
From a video editor with Microsoft.
Cool.
It's preloaded on the computer, and I can take a still and turn it into a video
It's lovely.
by adding the 3D effects and adding music and all that fun stuff. So there are other programs to do all of that. I just don't know how to use them yet.
Yeah,
I'll get there eventually.
I know. In fact, I just turned my phone to vibrate. I have a sound problem, in case you've watched me before. It's a very loud building. And I have a really good microphone it's a really good microphone that supposedly it's the best one like this, but it doesn't pick up the sound. So there's something you have to do in the back end. So someone told me how to call Zoom and whatever. I'll figure it out. Hi, Bora Bora. Hi, Indigo, Lisa, Lauren.
And looks like there are early birds. We got Heather and Lisa and Bora are both are all mods. So I'm actually starting to get trolls now, which is wild because I never got them before. And so everybody laughs and says, that shows you're moving up. You're getting a troll every now and again.
You know, some of the bigger stations have these things where they have to have a thing. It's like, if it says I'm contacting you for a reading, it's not me. Hi, Sabrina.
Oh yeah, there's
Paula
and Barb, Lisa.
Oh, Lisa. I like Laissez. Well, I like both.
Yeah, she said it was pronounced Lisa, Leeza.
Okay.
Because I asked her a while back, I was like, okay, is it Lisa? Is it Lise? Is it, how do I say it? I don't want to say it wrong. And although there are some that come in that I butcher their name every time, and I don't mean to, I just can't get my mouth to wrap around the letters that are put together. Anyway, welcome to my lovely guest, Jeffrey Ripecolor. All of his contact information is in the description box below. His YouTube channel, please go there, like, subscribe, and share. And his website, where you can find his beautiful artwork and merchandise that he sells, and the lovely silk scarves that he paints and sells. And eventually, I might have enough money, I'm going to be able to afford to buy one. And still out of my budget range.
Well, you're only 70 away from the 1,000, so here we go.
That's it. Shouldn't be too much longer.
Actually, that was really quick.
And I figure, give me about a year. I figure if within the next 5 years, by the time I'm ready to retire, when I hit 67, if I can at least match my salary, then I'll be okay.
Gotcha.
And so whether if it's still doing this or doing this and other things, there's a couple other opportunities out there I'm looking at. So
can we say laissez le bon temps rouler?
Laissez le bon temps rouler means let the good times roll.
Here we go.
And so we're gonna have a good time today. And bonjour, which hello, welcome. I don't know a lot of French. I forgot most of it.
Bienvenue.
Yeah, bienvenue is welcome.
Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos.
Yeah.
Very similar.
And I don't remember a lot of my French. I understood a lot and spoke some of it when I was a little girl, because half the family's Cajun French, and most of my cousins and everybody on that side, they all spoke French first, English second.
Mhm.
And so you kind of had to learn it in self-defense, just
Yeah, yeah,
just so
yeah.
you'd know what they were saying about you. But then I was away from it for a really long time. Hi, Gertrude. That I forgot it. So I keep saying I'm gonna take a class in Cajun French and relearn it. And
Hi, Gertrude. That was
but I
my grand.
just never seem to have time to do that. Yeah, if I had taken regular French, it would probably help a
Yeah,
little. But regular French, Canadian French, and Cajun French are
they're
three
different.
different languages.
Same thing in Spanish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mexican Spanish, Spanish from Spain, Spanish from Puerto Rico, Spanish from
From
Dominican Republic,
Cuba. Yep.
Peru. They're different.
When I lived in
All such
Phoenix, two of the
different.
guys I worked with, one's family was from Mexico, and the
Hmm.
other was a refugee from Cuba.
Hmm.
And it would be so funny because they would sit and talk to each other in Spanish. They'd be going along in a conversation, and one of them would say something, and the other one would be like, "What?" And they would fumble around and then have to flip to English to get the point across because it didn't translate from one variation of Spanish to the other. We used to laugh about that. You say that sounds so funny. But anyway, so Jeffrey and I were gonna talk about the gifts that we are all experiencing that we have. Some of us have had them for a very long time. Some of us, it's kind of brand new, and we're kind of learning what is going on. Um, some of us had them as children and then kind of shut them away in a closet, and they're coming back into view. And so it's like, don't know if I'm ready for that one yet, which is kind of my situation.
Well, I
Uh,
think whether we're ready or not, it comes.
that's it.
It's
And
what it is. And, I think also we can ask to receive it in a state of peace and that it's not overwhelming, you know?
yeah,
Yeah. Because
I
I'm
know.
in a similar situation. I read a lot.
Yeah,
As I read more and more, I'm getting better and better. And it's at this point, it's almost like it really doesn't matter what the cards are. Like I'm getting information, and I'm getting.
right,
It's almost like so. What's happening is I'm getting like I throw down two or three cards. Usually my three cards. So I threw down three cards, and sometimes it doesn't come. Sometimes I have to like just really read the cards and then it forms. But sometimes right away I get a whole feeling for what the little story is. I get like a
right.
whole feeling right away, and then I have to interpret that feeling into the cards. That's the way it works for me. That's the way I've been
Well,
reading.
and when we did the show together on the Hangman, we
Hmm.
did just that one card, and there were things that you were talking about. Hi, Gina, that you brought up. The colors, are all the cards the same colors? Do they
Hmm.
all have the same backgrounds? Do they all have water or not? Different things like that. I had never even thought of to look at it, just because I didn't see it from an artist viewpoint, I think.
Hmm.
Because when I said something out loud, I'd mentioned it to my son, who is an artist. And he was like, "Well, yeah, Mom." He says, "You look at that, you've got mountain ranges and all the ones you got laid out, and they're all green or they're all this." And
Right, right.
okay, it's an
But
art.
sometimes I get a place.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'll get a place from a card. Sometimes I'll get a place, like if it's water or if it's desert or if it's, sometimes I'll sort of get a place or like a feeling of a place. It's like, well, this is really lush. This is really barren. This is whatever, like this is an arid landscape or
right,
whatever. Yeah.
right. And that's one of the things I'm learning to do is to try to take in the whole card, the whole picture of the card.
Yeah, but what ends up happening for me is that the cards start to talk to me slowly.
Yeah.
So there are certain cards like I have 1,000,000 interpretations of because they've really like revealed a lot of themselves to me. But there are other ones that I have like say two or three interpretations, and also it depends on what cards are near it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and and then sometimes in the middle of a reading, it'll come. And you know, there are times where it's like I was doing a reading. I don't know who for because I do so many. So I was doing a reading, and it was all really positive, and it was all really like move forward. And then the four of what do you call it? The four of Pentacles came up, and the Four of Pentacles. You know, it's about stability because it's a four. It's about miserliness, right? It's about looking at things really carefully. And then when it came up, and I was like, and you're not going to be stupid because, you know, because he's practical,
Right.
right? Because sometimes, you know, some of these cards are like, they're all dreamy and, you know, and then that one came up and it's like, yeah, but the whole thing is like, you know, you're not going to sell the house to buy a necklace. You know, it was like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, you're going to be smart with the money. And it's like, so that's what came up. It's like, and you're not going to be stupid either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it might have been that interpretation for that reading.
Yes. Yes, because I'm finding that when I pull the same cards for different people for different readings or different types of readings, and as I'm pulling them and looking at them, I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, that's a King of Wands. It means da da da, and that's a Knight of this or a Two of that. And but depending on who I'm reading for and what the reading is about,
Well, of course.
are they asking me a personal question? Are they asking me a financial question? Are they asking, you know, that
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
such a variation in what the questions can be that now it's starting to where when I lay them out, the cards are telling me, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
This is what I'm standing for.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so I'm slowly learning to listen to that.
Right.
Um,
Well,
she,
you know,
she's like,
that's the real
Celtic
key.
Tarot
The
was the
real
one that told me.
key is to get myself out of the way, and
Yeah.
what the message that I get is the message that I'm supposed to deliver, no matter what I think of it, no matter, you know, that's the key. Just to
Yeah.
get my own way, and it's like, well, I don't really want to say this or that, and you know,
Don't want to hurt
well,
anybody's
I was
feelings.
reading a
Hi,
tarot.
Amy.
Indigo, that's like my Tarot Tuesdays. If you look up
Yeah,
my
she
site,
does that with aren't you doing that with Gerald? I think Heather, they're doing cards like that, Tarot Tuesdays. Um, but yeah, so that's what I'm.
it's because it's catchy, but I never do it on Tuesday, and I don't do it every week.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, that's what you were doing. Yeah. Um, somebody else is doing something similar, and that's what I was.
You know,
I
someone
was
else I think
crossing the two.
has a thing called Tarot Tuesdays also, and it's like, okay, it's just
Yeah,
it's you know, it sounds better than Tarot Wednesdays, Tarot
true.
Mondays.
It's like Taco Tuesday. You know, it just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's a little
Um,
catchy.
that's it.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry
I
I
mean,
went to
and
you.
since I first kind of fell into this community and discovered it and finally started speaking up and getting involved in the chat and everything, I kept having readers telling me, well, you know, you're a medium, right?
Mm.
And I was like, no. And they were like, yeah, just hang on, it'll show up eventually. And it has finally started showing up. And it's very disconcerting in the beginning
Yeah,
because it's very spotty. It's kind of,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
happens, it doesn't happen. I never know.
yeah.
It's like I can't control when I want it to happen.
I know,
It just happens.
I know. Well, it's
And
interesting you say that because I think eventually that does reveal itself because that's what's happening for me. So on my mother's birthday, August 28th, she came to me and we had a whole conversation. And my mother's been dead for a long time, like 32 years or something.
okay,
She's
wow.
always with me. She's always around me. But and then I started writing. So I have my little morning ritual is I have a whole script that I say about the violet fire coming down to surround me and, and consecrate me, and then the ascension flame coming up and also consecrating me, and I hold light 100%, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I do an IET session on myself, which is like an energy work where I ask to receive something and to release something. And I do it, it's a hands-on thing. And I do that also, I can do it remotely. So I do that. And then I write down, I have a whole ritual. Then I write down, I manifest, la, 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 la. And then I write, angels, what actions do I need to take to manifest my desires? And so, and I've been getting messages. And I mean, it's just like, it's not even me, because it's so full of love and comfort and encouragement. And it's not the wordage I would use. And sometimes in the middle of a word, it'll change the word. It'll tell me something else. I write that down.
Yeah.
Then, like when I did the Guadalupe video, I sort of was like, okay, Guadalupe, I'm going to do a video for you today, and la, la, la. And this whole download came through. And I on my Guadalupe, I wrote it. I don't know where it is right now, but I wrote it down.
I watched the video. Yeah.
It was like a whole download. It was a whole download.
Yeah.
So I sit and I write every day. And then, I know sometimes I think it's my ego, but sometimes it's like, this is not the way I speak.
Yeah.
This is something else.
I've been getting that too. It's like, I wouldn't say it like that.
Yeah.
Did I really just say that? I don't
That's
normally
how
talk
I
like
know it's something other. And for me, it's like, I've never really had an experience where it's not like loving and kind and generous and comforting and hopeful. But if I ever got a weird message like that, it would be like, I don't think so. But also I'm surrounding myself, I'm like elevating myself before I go in.
Right.
I'm aligning with something. I'm aligning with the Godhead. I'm aligning with the angels. I'm aligning with the earth before I do any of that.
Well, and I know that's what I've started doing because I mean, my mornings are usually so packed, 2 dogs to walk and trying to get up and wake up and get dressed and get to work and blah, blah, blah. But that first cup of coffee, that first cigarette, I go sit out on the patio, no matter how freaking cold it is. And in front of the little heater that I bought for the patio, and you're sitting there, but my brother thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, yeah, you're not addicted to nicotine. But, I'll sit out there and just kind of run through my mind. Okay. Just keep blue energy, healing, protective energy around me today. If there's something I need to do or say, make it clear, because I'm around so many people during the day because I work at a university. So I have kids from around the world because I work in the computer science department. So I have students from all over the world and I have faculty from around the world. And so I know in the beginning I would get almost like bombarded with the different cultures, as much as I love to talk about that with them and learn about their culture and what it's like and what they do and that kind of thing. I found that I had to start, in a way, put up a wall to be able to enjoy the conversation without it just blasting me. I don't know if I'm making sense with that or not.
I understand you.
And so it was kind of strange.
I like to sit between the paintings there.
Yeah, and there you go. You're perfectly in line. Well, you just got my bed behind me and my junk pile. But when I started doing the YouTube, and one of my kids had come in, she's in one of the student groups, had come in to see about reserving a space in the building to have a meeting. And we were talking, and I said something rather about, well, yeah, I've got a live stream tonight, so I won't be staying late. She's like, a live stream? She says, you're on YouTube? And I said, yeah. She was like, Miss Sherry, you're a YouTuber? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what do you do? I said, I read Oracle and Tarot cards. And she was just floored. She was like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing ever. I love to watch that kind of stuff. So yeah, she shows up a lot in my chat whenever I'm on. And now I've got quite a few students who all make it a point to come and watch me when I'm on.
That's nice.
Which is kind of cool, so I think it kind of takes down a wall between me and them.
Yeah.
I'm not this administrator over here,
Yeah.
that's
I'm a full and whole.
yeah, they see me as a regular person.
Right.
And pardon me, I've been really froggy today.
So tell me,
This is constantly draining.
what more is coming to you?
Mostly it's the mediumship.
So you're
I'm starting to hear what I did a recording with a newer girl. Her name's Sylvia. She has 2 websites, Colorful Foresight and Seeing 2 of Cups. And we were doing a pre-recording from questions that had been sent to her to ask me to see if I could answer. And one of the questions she had was, and look, she's in the website. She just showed up. She's in the chat. Sylvia just showed up. And we were reading on 2023. What do I see coming for the next year? And one of the questions had to do with George Washington and how he felt about kind of where we were politically going into the new year. And clear as day, suddenly I hear the man talking to me in my head, British accent and all, and I was like, it just threw me because it was the first time I physically heard somebody since I was a little girl. When I was little, I would talk to God, I called it, because I heard a very distinctive male voice that would talk to me all the time, and I would talk back. And family would walk in and say, who are you talking to? And I'd say, God. And they go, okay. And just like, no big deal. And that hung with me until I was probably 7 or 8. And then I don't know if it's just the voice didn't have anything left to say to me, or if it just wasn't no longer the right time for me to hear it.
Right. Maybe you needed it then, and then you didn't.
And then I didn't. I don't really remember it. I don't remember what he said to me. In later years, the first time I heard the actor James Earl Jones talk, it was like, oh my God, that's the voice.
Yeah.
That's the voice I heard. That's Darth Vader in my head before anybody knew who Darth Vader was. But that has slowly been, like I said, it hit me full force a few weeks back. It caught me off guard. And a couple of weeks before that, I was doing a live stream with someone, and it was like when I get vertigo, because I can't be up high and look down. I get vertigo. Can't climb a ladder. Can't do stairs. I get vertigo real bad. But I'm sitting in my chair, and it was like I got vertigo. Everything kind of spun on me, and I could just feel it like in my diaphragm. And I was just kind of sat there, and whoever it was I was on with, after a few minutes, I could hear them say, are you okay? And I was like, I just got a download. I mean, it just came in.
Do you ground yourself to the earth beforehand?
Yeah. And, I try to make sure that, that I cover myself, I protect myself.
Yeah. But I find
because of things that happened when I was in high school that scared the bejeebus out of me, that I really didn't want to have anything to do with it. Because I didn't know any better, There was nobody to say, don't mess with this or don't do that. So it kind of caught me off guard, but it wasn't like scary or bad or anything. It just
Yeah,
caught me
just
by surprise.
right.
And it was just a download, and it was suddenly the person I was reading on. It was like I had the whole picture, the whole answer in my head, just
Mhm.
that quick.
See,
And so,
I get it more sentient. I feel it, and I like if I hear something, it's like I hear an idea. It's not. I don't really hear like a distinct other voice. I mean, on occasion I do, on occasion, but not
since
very.
I was 7, I've not heard a voice until a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that revealed itself to me, but at the moment, no. Because I think it comes to each and every one of us the way it's supposed to. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I know I did a show with Sheila Celtic Tarot,
Hmm.
and when we were reading it, she kept telling me, "Don't worry about what the cards say. Just say what you're feeling. Just say the
Yeah,
first thing that comes to your head."
yeah,
And um, and so I started doing that, and the cards became kind of became irrelevant.
yeah.
Even though there are some times when I'm literally reading what the card says because the feeling I get is, no, this is the
Well,
message
that's the
you
door.
need to give them.
Yeah, the
And
car is the door.
yeah,
It's the room that you're going into. It's the door.
exactly.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's just read the doorway, and
right,
sometimes it's step inside. I've
right,
got something else to tell you.
right.
And so there's Andrea, my tribe tarot. She's another newcomer. Um, she's got a channel now. Um, but and hi, Charlie. A bunch of new people have popped in. Hello to everybody new. If I
Oh,
missed your name, I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, it's just been it's been exciting and a little disconcerting at time as new things start happening. Um, and except for when I was a little girl, I've never physically heard an audible voice in my head
hmm.
until a couple of weeks ago when suddenly George Washington was talking to me, and I was like, okay, this is wild. Um, and since then, he's talked to me a couple of times, which is really wild. It's like, I don't know if I want you walking around in my head all the time. I mean, I respect you, you're a founding father, but I mean, I don't know, maybe because we're the same age. Um, but it's just intriguing to me also as I've watched other readers how they were when I saw them 2 years ago compared to how they are now, and how
Hmm.
I've seen their gifts grow and change.
Hmm.
And
Well, I mean, look, because I read nearly every day,
yeah,
it's like I'm just going, it's like riding a bicycle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's like cooking. It's like anything. The more you do it, the more the better you get at it.
right, yeah, yeah. And it's like I try to do, even if it's just a little quick read on myself, I try
Hmm.
to do something every day.
Hmm.
And the few times when I've had to go for whatever reason a couple of days without even picking up the cards, I start missing the feel of them. Of just to sit and shuffle them, even if
Yeah,
I don't read them, just to sit and hold them and shuffle them. It's
yeah. I don't really read for myself much. I don't really read for myself all that much. I mean, I talk to them. I ask for direction, but not with the cards so much. I
yeah,
just, yeah, it doesn't because it's like I know what I want to see, so I just keep on pulling cards until I see what I want to see.
yeah. Because there are some times when I'll pull a card and I'm like, really,
You know.
really, that's the one you're giving me today. It's like I don't like that one. Um, but a lot of times it's just a
Wait, a
whole
question. This is a question for me. Go. Okay. Color. A question for
reading
you.
through your.
How you can do reading through your artwork. I don't do reading through my artwork, but I mean, I haven't made any art since I'm here. I don't have a studio, blah, blah, blah. But when I used to, they told me what to do. They were just telling me what to do. I had I had like an idea of what I wanted to do, but it's like, that's nice.
Yeah.
They just directed me, use this brush, use this color, put it there. And I would just sort of be in a zone, just doing what they told me to do moment to
Well, that's
moment,
kind of like automatic writing
in a way.
for
Yeah.
people who because I've heard people talk about who aren't really writers who talk about, well, no, I'll get crayons and just color, or a paintbrush and just paint.
Yeah.
And I know I watch my son when he paints. Now he does more music now than actual artwork, but when he paints, I've watched him do it where it's just like he goes into this headspace, into this zone,
That's
and
what,
he's just going at it, and it amazes me to watch him
well, the
take
Tarot,
whatever pictures in his brain and get it on the
no,
canvas.
the Tarot is similar. I don't really know how it's going to end up. I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm just there for the, and the same thing, like when I make something, I don't make it for me.
Right.
I, as I'm making it, it brings me bliss. But then afterwards, it's not like, um, oh, well, this one's mine. It's like none of them are really mine.
Yeah.
They're really, I'm making them for the right people. It's really weird too,
Yeah.
because I make them and like somebody will buy a gift for somebody, right? And they'll go, oh my God, their favorite color is orange, and I didn't even know, and la la la. I'm like, the right one ends up in the right hands. It's kind of odd.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Like
kind of
people,
cool.
if somehow I like, if like I make a hole in it, then it's mine. Because it's like I can't sell it now; it's mine.
There
Those are the
you
ones,
go.
you
There
know.
you go. Well, yeah, I mean that's it with I guess the biggest thing for me has just been accepting it as the new stuff is coming, and excited about what's next, but at the same time leery.
Yeah,
It's like don't rush me is how I keep feeling. But
yeah.
but yet there are other days when it's like, well, come on, let's do the next thing. And
I know. So if your energy is going back and forth, basically saying to your higher self, I'm ready, I'm not ready, I'm ready, I'm not
I'm
ready,
not ready. Yeah.
it's going to be, what do they call it? Fits and starts? Is that how they say it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Fits and starts. That's it exactly.
yeah.
And that's and I think that's why it's spotty for me, because
No, I get the same
I'm
thing. Some days
yeah,
I'm
I'm still kind of like,
like, me, I'm yours, la, la, la. And then the next day I'm like, I didn't say that. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you say?
I
Huh?
gotta go to work today. I don't have time for this. I got a job to do right now.
But
Talk to me later.
I think that's normal. I think
Yeah,
that's not normal, but I think that's I don't know, to be expected. I think that's a natural reaction. Let's say that.
yeah, yeah. I think that's true for anything you do,
Yeah.
whether if it's a job or education or anything creative. Um,
Well, I think it's scary to step into our light. That's what
yes,
you
that's
know.
a
I
good
think
way to
we're
put
all so
that.
used to the darkness. We're all, no, and I don't mean the darkness like deep darkness. In like we're also used to. Oh, I don't really trust myself. Am I good enough? What do people think? There's so much of that built into society. So, when you really do have something, any kind of talent, I think, there's this part of us that says, well, I don't know, I can't really shine, usually. I think most people are like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
And I'm trying to look here, see if there were any other questions. Um, let's see. Willow said, yeah, she likes to create art
Well,
for others.
so if you want to start selling more instead of giving it away, then start that. I'm sort of in the same place. Um,
Yeah,
that's why I don't really do that many I don't really do that many free readings because it's like, well, this is how I'm supporting myself. So
yeah.
I'll give you a little three
Oh,
card.
I did a show with Susan Lynn a few weeks back, and she was like, "Why are you still giving away your readings for free?"
Right.
And I said, "Well, there's a lot of people that can't afford it." And she's like, "That's not your problem."
Exactly.
And I'm like, "Well," I said, "that's kind of rough." And she says, "You can always negotiate with somebody." She says, "But you need to set yourself a base, and then go from there."
Yeah.
She says, "But until you consider what you're doing, how did she put it?
Valuable.
Until you feel like it's a feasible and respectable way to earn money, it's a sharing of energy.
Right.
It's sharing your energy. You're exchanging your energy for another energy and a monetary value."
Right.
And I was like, I'd never really quite thought about it that way. So
Yeah.
I've been slowly transferring myself over to that, and
Yeah.
which I know will mean I need
It's
to.
also about naming and claiming your own, the value of your gift.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's naming and claiming the value of your gift. It really is.
Yeah.
But this is not the way I thought it was going to go. I thought we were both going to start levitating. Woo!
Well,
Oh!
that'd be fun. Now, I used to have out of body experiences when I was around 12.
Well, I've had out of body
Yeah,
experiences.
but I would never leave the room. I would
Yeah.
just float on the ceiling and watch myself sleep because
Yeah.
I was terrified if I left the room, I wouldn't find myself again.
Yeah.
And then what would happen, So I never went anywhere, but I haven't been able to do that one again. Don't know if I want to. It's
Mhm.
another one of those back off and come, back and forth.
So let me
Um,
ask you, where do you think it's going for you?
from the beginning, when I first started doing this, it felt like coming home.
Wow.
Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Wow.
And I've never really had that feeling with anything else
That's beautiful.
because I'm not an artsy craftsy person. I laugh. I tell people I'm arts and crafts challenged. I can't glue two sticks together and make them stay.
That's ACC. We just came up with the new.
Here we go.
I took a paintbrush, I put it in my ear.
ACC, that's a good one. But I've been saying that for years. I'm arts and crafts challenged. I can't draw stick people. I mean, my goodness. Cash Peters is Picasso next to what I would put on a piece of paper.
I went to FIT, right? I went to fashion school.
Uh,
Barely so. I can barely draw. But you know what this going to school gave me? It gave me confidence in myself to really understand that I really, really understood color. And I really, really understood fabric. That's what it gave me. Because everybody in the school would come to me and they go, "Does this match? Does this match? Does this match?" It's like,
God,
you're at a fashion school and you don't really understand if colors match.
my mother,
Maybe you should do something else.
my
But the whole
mom sewed.
come to me. I swear to God. And
Yeah, no, I believe you because I heard it.
needed
I heard
that,
it with my mom. My
know?
mom sewed and quilted. And I mean, I never wore a store-bought uh, prom gown when I was in school.
Wow.
She always made my gowns. And they were always original design because she was like, "You're not going to show up in the same thing that 10 other girls are wearing in a different color."
Yeah.
And so I was cool with that. And I've got a question starred for you here in a minute. But later on, she worked at Joann's back when it was still Cloth World, eons ago. And that's what she did was she sold fabric and stuff to people. And then she started teaching quilting classes.
Cool.
And she would teach beginners classes, something as simple as how to match up your colors and match up your materials. What do you want your piece to say? Um, and she would laugh. She would say sometimes she'd have students bring her some of the wildest mismatched color patches to use. And she said, "No, I would look at it and think, why would you put that together? That clashes." She says, but then they would arrange it on a quilt face, and it was beautiful
Mm-hmm.
because what they saw was not what I saw.
Right,
So
right,
that's when I learned to just tell them, go for the colors that jump out at you,
right.
And if it's beautiful to you, then that's all that matters.
Well, also,
But she was very good about the
color
quality of the material, the type of material,
yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah, and ideas of beauty and ideas of color combination really changes culture to culture, which I always found fascinating. So the Chinese have a different idea and understanding of what color does, and the Indians and the Persians and the Africans and the Europeans, it's all different. It's
Yeah,
all different. I like that. I like to see, for me, color combinations are like kind of everything. So that's why I really like to go see art. That's why I like to go look at things that are like unusual to me.
yeah,
So I remember looking at some Chinese porcelain at the Metropolitan, and they had, it was a white background. I mean, the Chinese porcelain is just unbelievable. And they had this very, very, very pale pink, like the softest pink you can imagine, and with like a sort of rust. And I was like, what? But, somehow it all seemed to work. It was like,
yeah,
oh, because sometimes we get limited in our thinking of, oh, it's supposed to be like this, supposed to, oh, well, blue goes with this, but it doesn't go with that or whatever. And, I think it sort of relates to our conversation with this is that, oh, well, I can, like, maybe Tarot is the only thing. And it's like, maybe Tarot isn't the only thing.
yeah,
And I'm like, well, let it, and that's its own quilt.
yeah.
That's its own tapestry.
Oh, I know. My mother used to make some of the most beautiful clothing, and people would ask me, "Oh, how lucky you learned to sew from your mom." And I'm like, I can't thread a needle. I
I went to FIT. I hate sewing.
I can't thread a needle. I can't operate a machine. When
I
she
I
passed
have
away, we had
a
two.
job to do, and I'm going to take it to its yellow here.
Yeah, I mean, when she passed away, I had all of her. She had, two very expensive machines that she used and all kinds of stuff. My brother and I found someone we knew that did a lot of sewing themselves. We
Mm-hmm.
just gave them everything. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
here's all the material. It's
That's
going to
good.
dry rot if it stays with us.
That's good
You know,
because it's somewhere that's going to use it.
right? Exactly. And so that made me feel good. At least I was giving it to somebody that could use it
Yeah.
because I know I wasn't ever going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of that is a lot the same. Just when I first started reading the tarot cards, um, like I said, it felt like coming home. And then I saw an oracle deck. I saw somebody use an oracle deck, and that was like all the bells and whistles went off. Ding, 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 ding. That's it. And so I started shopping around for an oracle deck because I knew nothing about them. And who knew that there were so many, right?
Oh,
And then I turned around and I won a deck from Allie, Heart and Soul Connected. She was doing a giveaway. And her husband drew my name out of the bowl. And I won the oracle deck. I still use it daily. The first time I held it in my hands, I literally got a charge off of the cards, like an electrical jolt.
Mm-hmm.
When I took them out of the box and held them, I was like, whoa, okay. And so I have like 3 or 4 tarot decks, but the majority of all my decks are all oracle cards.
I have my one deck. That's it. I don't, it's like, oh, well, it's like, honestly, if I were going to start collecting stuff, it would be more art. It would be more clothing. It'd be kitchen stuff, plants for my roof. That's
when it comes to just the tarot, yeah, I've got one deck I use now.
Rider-Waite.
And it's based on the Rider-Waite. Yeah.
It's the right way. I just use
But
it.
the only difference is that it has all the keywords. It has rune symbols. It has the astrological symbols.
Mm-hmm.
It has a numerology breakdown of that number.
Mm-hmm.
It's a yes, no card or maybe card. It's like all these different functions
Well, they're all
on
built in here
on
already.
this one card, right?
Yeah, no, but
So
I
you get
mean,
all these. So
yeah,
I found now this is the one I use when it's tarot because it pretty much covers everything,
yeah,
whatever the question may be. And
yeah.
my oracle decks are just it's a different feeling, a different meaning. Um uh and yeah, we are entering a space. Um the veil is definitely thinning. I'm a friend of mine that's real into paranormal, cryptid, Bigfoot, all. I mean, he's like researched, written books, been published, whatnot for 40 years on the topics. Has his own radio show and everything. And he was a guest on a show last night, so I was listening. Um, and the guy that was hosting the show was talking about, well, what drew you into this? Well, what drew you into that? He was like, dude, when you have a personal experience as a kid, you pretty much make that your life's passion if it had that big of an impact on you. And I think that somewhere along the line, for me, from an early age in our family, it was just like, oh, you got the gift. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody talked about it. Nobody discussed it. Didn't understand it. It just was.
Mm-hmm.
This auntie could do this, and my grandmother could do that. My mom could do the other. So it was just normal that I could do stuff. And then I just put it away for a long, long time. And then when I opened that door back up, I was afraid it would all come rushing back at me at once. And fortunately, it hasn't.
I don't think
But
it
I
will.
think that's because I asked Spirit
Right,
to not throw it all at me at once.
right.
Give it to me in bite-sized components.
Yeah.
I can deal with it.
Yeah.
And let's see. Lisa had a question for you.
What do you mean you're clueless to where I want to? Oh, you want to move. Yeah, I have. I belong here. It's just as simple as that. I belong here. The first time I came, I was hearing, you belong here, you belong here, you belong here.
Yeah, you came home.
I got things to do.
Yeah.
And
You New Yorker, what you doing down there?
I just, well, it's also the good thing. It's Mexico City, so it's this huge, with tons of variety. There's 20 million people here, so I need that. I couldn't. Oh, did you want to move to Cancun? I'd shoot myself.
Yeah.
No, it's not for me.
Yeah.
So I had that feeling, and I connected right away. I really felt like, well, Mexicans are really very warm and welcoming and kind,
Mm-hmm.
generous and open. They really are. So I had a really good experience. And I remember coming back to New York the first time, and that was like 2017, I think, the first time I came, or 16, I'm not sure. 17, I think, I don't know. Anyway, I remember going and I went to my therapist and I'm like, I'm going to live there. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm going to live there. I said, it's the most freaking fascinating place I've ever been in my life.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the most fascinating place. And I kept on coming back. And then, and for years, really, I'd been talking to my friends, having this fantasy, oh, I'm going to live in Mexico. And they're like, really? A lot of people are like, really? It's Mexico. It's not Europe. Like, I don't want to live in Europe.
Yeah, no.
Liam.
It's cold there.
I feel like the
Mexico's warm.
Americans, really from Canada to Chile, is like there's this energy of moving forward, of I can do it, of there's this, there's this fire,
Yeah.
right? That's the way it feels. And
Well, and
and
you literally had a fire kick you
you
out
know,
and made your butt move.
yeah.
So,
So, and it was like, well, what? Because the thing is that what I came to really get was that the reason that I stayed in New York for so long was because I had a cheap apartment. That was the real thing. And
yeah,
in a way, it was like golden handcuffs. It was like golden handcuffs. That's really what it was.
yeah, no, I get you because we, I mean, we all wound up moving in together because we were taking care of my mom who had dementia. And so we were kind of tag teaming it. It was me, my son, when he got out of the Navy, my brother, and his son. And so we all moved in together, all take care of mom. And we lived in a really crappy, dumpy place because it was cheap and it was where she was at. And as the disease progressed, it was where she was comfortable being.
Mm-hmm.
So then we didn't want to move because she was in enough state of confusion. We didn't want to add to it.
Right.
And then within a year after she passed, we had left, and we're now where we're at now, in the apartment we're in now. We've been here. It was a year ago, August, that we moved in over here, and it's so much nicer, so much more, just energetically cleaner.
This place is very clean too.
And it was like when we started looking, knew we were going to leave. We was time to move. And it's like something made me zero in. This is one of the oldest complexes in town. It's been here forever. My brother actually lived here for a while when he was in college. I've had friends over the years that have lived in this complex, different, points and times. And but for some reason something drew me here. This is it. And we got in. I mean, they had a waiting list, people waiting to get an apartment.
Yeah.
And we lucked out. We got in. When they had a 3-bedroom come open, I got a phone call. Are you still interested? I said, yeah, I'll send you a check right now. Don't rent it to anybody else. And I mean, that's how quick it took. And it just felt right. And I don't know how long we're going to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
It may come about we need to go again.
Yeah.
If it gets too expensive, but because they keep going up in the rent. But I know it's just because they're trying to catch us up.
My deal is the sound because they've been doing so much construction, and I just get this feeling like they don't really know what they're doing. So I feel like it's going to be construction forever, and I have to fix my sound thing because I think it really impacts my channel. Because if the sound isn't good,
yeah, people can't hear you. They're going to change the channel,
or all this background noise. So I have this cool microphone that I know works. I just have to figure out, but I think I'll do it today, actually. So we'll see.
Yeah, no. Well, I've been hearing you fine, so not hearing anything.
Yeah, no, well, we're lucky. We have them on because I did a live earlier with Nancy Jean today, and there was so much.
I enjoy watching her.
Crazy construction.
Yeah.
So once I get the sound worked out, I think because I really like this neighborhood, I really like this apartment. I have a really nice landlord.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a nice place. What little bit you've shown inside and outside is like, oh, that's the kind of place I could relax in.
It's
Some
new,
places.
It's all new. I'm the first person here, so.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Very good. And it's. I mean, I lived in Phoenix for 10 years. After my husband died, I kind of ran away from home, see if I could live on my own. And so there were several times when I made trips down to border towns in Mexico with friends, and despite the differences in just income level, I mean, there's a level of poor at the border there that
Well, all
I've
over.
been poor all my life. It's like I never was that poor.
No. There's it's here too.
Yeah, and but the people there were always so kind and
Yeah,
so warm and
yeah.
so generous.
It's just really
Um,
that's their culture. That's
yeah,
their culture.
I
It's
mean
really
the
welcoming and
people
it's
that were Mexican or Mexican descent that I met in Phoenix were always the friendliest people that I met and the nicest people. You know, they just opened their hearts and their doors to you, never an issue.
mhm.
And that was one of the things I hated about leaving Phoenix was, you know, kind of missed that. Um, but here it's the same, but it's different. You know, it's here it's my people, I guess you could say in a way, because I'm Cajun too. So although there's a good chunk of family that we've never associated with, my mother would never allow us to associate with them because they were the KKK people, so to speak. And she wouldn't have anything to do with it. You know, she was kind of a rebel in her own time. Um, I mean, growing up in the Deep South, in the middle of the civil rights movement, you see a lot of things that,
Oh, I can only imagine.
yeah. Um, so it's, but with just within, I've been waiting to see if there are any other specific type of questions, but I know with me, I think the biggest thing is just trying to, oh, here we go. This way I don't have to talk about me.
Specifically. Well, my gifts are much stronger. I trust myself and I trust the gifts more. Um, I'm more in a state of observing. I'm sorry, I'm tying my shoe. It's driving me crazy.
He's getting ready to run away.
Yeah, no, but you know how sometimes it just undoes itself and it's like, oh, I have Virgo
Yeah,
rising. It's like everything has to be in order. Um,
it's that OCD coming
and,
in.
and, I dove, I dive deeper into it. I allow it. I trust it. I let it guide me and lead me. And sort of the same way. Well, I started getting messages and writing them, and I think there's more of that to come.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
With me, it's been the just suddenly knowing something.
yeah.
Just,
No, I get well that I've always had,
you
but it's
know,
more and more. But the
um,
writing thing is really funny because I'm really good at talking, but writing has always been very intimidating to me because I always wanted it to feel right and look right and and I always wanted it to be a certain way, and it never really came very naturally to me. And
writing was always easy for me.
that's how they decided to come through. That's very interesting,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's funny because for me, I mean, you can give me a blank notepad and say, give me, you know, 100 pages on this topic. Go. Boom. I can sit down, write it out for you. No problem. I never had an issue with that. I certainly don't have an issue with talking. Everybody in my family talks too much. There are times I hear myself and I think, shut up, Sherry, just be quiet for 5 minutes. But it's funny how my gifts have not gone to the writing. And it just makes me wonder sometimes, is it because I've always written a lot? And so there's a part of me that's like, you won't know if it's you or if it's spirit that's writing for you.
Right, like I said
Um,
before, the words that come out, yeah, it ain't me.
yeah. And so it's like, is this just my brain going back into gear or is this something that I'm really getting?
Well, I think also I think they like to shake us up, and it's like, oh no, you're on a new road now. You
Yeah.
know, you're on a new road now, and you're really going to have to trust us because you don't really know that much about this,
Yes.
right? It's like, well, yeah,
Yes.
stay in. Your job is to be in the back seat, right? Our job is to drive, and your job is to tell us what you see out the window.
That's an excellent way to put it. That is an excellent way to put it. Yes. Um, because, oh boy, I sure know there are times now when I am not behind the wheel. And as a control freak, that can be kind of really scary, is letting go of that control. Because I'm a very big control freak.
Well,
Um,
you know, you're, yeah.
but
Wait.
it's funny. It's a house full of control freaks. My brother's a control freak. I'm
Yeah.
a control freak. My son's a control freak. And we all just, there are days when it's like, everybody go to their neutral corners, no bloodshed in the house. um, but yeah, I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm excited about what's coming next.
Me too.
And I think that that's what they've been waiting for,
Yeah.
is for me to get past the fear stage
You know what
of,
I just
oh
got?
God, what's coming next?
I got the three of wands, right?
Mm,
You know which one that is? So the three of wands, it's really
no,
not the card, it's about creativity and all that. But it's also, I have this interpretation lately of the, here it is. I have this interpretation lately of the three of wands, right? So in a traditional deck, this yellow over here would be blue because there are ships. Your ships are coming in, right? That's
yeah,
like the baseline understanding of that card. But I always feel like expect good news. It's like, I know my ships are coming in. I'm going to go down to the shore and meet them.
yes,
It's like that.
that's how I feel when I look at that card.
Oh,
It's like, oh look, they're coming.
it's coming. You know, it's almost like an expectant father,
Yeah,
right? An expectant father. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to the hospital. Yeah. You know what I mean?
give me the glove, I'll catch.
Yeah. It's a little bit like that. It's a little bit
um,
like that.
yeah, that's
Also,
that's.
it's also a card
I'm
like
so glad you said that about that card, because I have felt that way about that card for a while.
it
Once I
is. It's like,
realized what card you were talking about, I had to see it because I'm more of a visual person, and
yeah.
but I've felt that way a lot when I've had that card and didn't say anything because it was like it doesn't fit, or it's not. It's again, it was that hesitation of not saying what they're telling me
Right.
and instead going by what it's supposed to be, you know?
Right.
And
I mean, there's a lot of interpretation of that card, but that, like lately, that's the one I'm getting. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to, yeah. You know,
yeah,
it's almost like the carnival's coming to town or something, and you're a little kid. It's like, oh, I want to see them set up the carnival.
yeah. So I can be first in line for the ride.
Laugh, you know.
Maybe if I help them, they'll give me a free ride, you know?
Right.
Same thing with Christmas, you know, wanting to stay up late to watch for Santa Claus because you know Santa Claus is coming.
Right. It's that, but
You
and
know,
anticipation of good things.
yeah,
It's not, you know, because always we have anticipation. It's like, uh oh. You know,
yeah,
like, you know, your least favorite relative is coming to visit, and it's like, what
yeah.
are they going to say today?
It's like
Is this one of
somewhere
those?
I can go hide.
You know, this is like an anticipation. Oh, the circus is coming to town, or you know, my ships are coming in, or you know, whatever, something good, something good.
That's it. I can't think of anything else to cover on it. Is there anything else you want to bring
No,
about?
you know, well, the thing that I wanted to say really to everyone watching is that, you know, I've lately been reading quite a lot of people who gifts are coming to them in all different shapes, sizes, and forms.
Yeah,
And there are a lot of them in the same boat that we're in. Oh, I want it. I don't want it. I don't know. Yes, yeah. But I feel like there ain't no stopping a flood.
Yeah.
There ain't no stopping a flood.
Yeah.
So it's like, prepare yourself, and just, welcome it. Welcome it.
That's it.
Because,
And realize that,
anyway, because
and,
it's going
and I'm hearing people who aren't
to.
even involved in this kind of
Oh, I
thing
know. That's what I'm saying.
saying, well, the veil is thinning. And I'm like, where did you hear that? How do you know that? Well, I don't know. I just
Yeah, it's in the
know that. He's like, that's what they're being told. It's thinning. They don't know what it means.
it's almost like it's in the consciousness.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, let's all hold hands and see how it goes.
That's it.
Let's see how it
Well,
goes.
it's,
The other thing is like, I find my experience is like the universe is deeply, deeply efficient. Deeply efficient. It doesn't deliver the wrong package to the wrong house.
like UPS.
And all of them. But yeah, whatever. There are worse than UPS, believe me. It doesn't
Yes.
if you received the gift of art, the gift of speaking, the gift of mediumship, the gift of business, it didn't come to you for nothing. It didn't. It wasn't a mistake. And our job is to relish the gift, to utilize it, and to share it. That's our job. That's our job.
Yeah, that's a good way to put that.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm the king of metaphors. That's for sure.
It's that New York humor you got.
I do. On YouTube, I'm so good. On YouTube, you have no idea how good I am. I have the filthiest mouth ever.
Me too.
I really like on occasionally
I can make a sailor blush.
occasionally I'll say shit on camera, and then sometimes I drop the F-bomb. But I really, really try not to. Also, I don't want to offend people who are watching.
Right.
I want to be able to. That's the other thing. It's sort of like, remember how I said earlier about how it's like, oh, you're on a new road? Like, put us on a new road. This is a new road. Yeah. This is a new road. It's like, well, can you communicate efficiently and clearly in a way that people can relate to? Mm-hmm. That's not, I know a lot of people don't get offended by it, but some people do.
I try not to curse
myself.
I do at times. Sometimes it just comes out and I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's not any of the really bad stuff that I've been known to say. But a lot of that too comes from I have to filter myself at work. So,
right.
Although I'm sure most of them around there talk just as bad as I do when they're not around students. But
right.
Still,
but,
yeah.
It's interesting to allow myself to be molded. Not in a way that's like completely uncomfortable and, but allow myself to be guided and somehow transformed through the road or on the river or whatever, however you want to put it.
Oh yeah, because I know when I first found this community, first started watching, there were quite a few readers that I would listen to that did curse and would just said whatever they said. And I've noticed over the past year that a lot of them aren't really doing that anymore. It's like the language is slowly being clearing.
Like I had a live video that I was looking through my back end today, and I had a live video that they cut off the monetization, I guess, because I curse too much. Because I don't really talk about topics that are like, weird.
Yeah.
I really don't. I talk about like developing yourself spiritually. What am I talking about? I'm not
exactly.
talking,
You're
You
not
know,
discussing body parts in minute detail.
yeah,
Um,
pushing crypto or any of that. You know,
yeah,
or
exactly.
pushing the misinformation. Like I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. Excuse me. My sinus medicine's wearing off. I can feel it. It's starting to drip again.
You know. All right. So do you want to
But
see if maybe if other people have
does anybody else have any questions or anything they want to? It's not a question, but I just have to put that up. Oh, yeah. I think that brought it out of a lot of people. Well, this is an interesting way to think of it. We're all working on being more polite. There you go. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions or
so like my tribe, it says in New Jersey, we Chris, like it's just talking. I mean, I'm from New York, please. I'm from Brooklyn.
yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Oh my God, you're a Brooklyn guy.
And and I just tell it the way it is. I don't have the patience to,
Yeah.
if I want to tell you to go yourself, then I do. I don't have a problem with it. And then I move on.
See, in the South, we do the same, but we have different language.
I know. I know.
We say, well, bless his heart. It just depends on how it's said and what tone.
Yeah. Set him on fire and throw him in the ground. Basically.
Or I'm gonna go slap your mama. And it got nothing to do with your mama. They want to punch you in the face right now.
Yeah, it's different in different cultures.
Yes, very much so. I like that, Willow. Well, damn, I must be a genius.
Yeah, right? Hello.
That's it. Yeah, Rose, that's exactly what I was just saying. You can say bless your heart and 5, 10, 20 different meanings on it, just how it's said and what the tone is. And
Yeah, but because for me, when I say God bless you, I mean it. When I say bless you, I mean it. It's not.
oh, here's an interesting question. Do the guides speak to you in Jeffrey New York style, or is it more clean?
No, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's always, as long as I get the message. It's not. I get as long as I get the message. Sometimes it's very comforting. Sometimes it's very I don't know, strong. Sometimes it's very strong.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very comforting. Sometimes it's funny. Yes. Sometimes it's funny. It's different. It's a variety, which actually kind of makes sense to me. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
your mother laid chicken eggs.
I like that. It's so weird, but I really like
I
it.
don't know what that means, but that's funny. Oh my goodness. My grandmother used to say some stuff, but I can't repeat it. Or I would get demonetized before I'm even monetized. So yeah,
No, let's not do that.
I'll get a fussing at. Oh my goodness. What is this? Practice cussing.
Practice? You had to practice?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember ever practicing.
Yeah, me neither. It just sort of came naturally. It was easier than riding a bike, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially if you're. My mom wasn't a big cursor, but there were other people around us that were. So it was, and with the exception of maybe a few words, there wasn't a whole lot you could say that would shock her. She
Yeah.
would just give you a look, that could usually melt you in the spot,
Yeah.
A switch, yeah, we're not going to talk about switches from trees. I still, to this day, I see a fig tree, my first instinct is kill it. Because my grandmother would make us go get a switch off the fig tree in the backyard. You better bring back the right one.
Yeah.
And she would switch you with that switch. Oh my God. She would hold you by one arm and let you run in a circle. And she would just switch you from the middle of your back to your ankles and up and down. Your whole backside was exposed.
Oh, let's end on a nicer note than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, does anyone have any comments or questions about their intuition opening up, revealing itself,
There we go.
etc.?
What new gifts? Yes. What gift have you had come to
Where are you?
the forefront? Let's see. I'm trying to see if I see anything. Oh, sorry, Tammy. We're not doing personal questions today. Let's see.
I like that attitude. Barb said, "We know we are getting gifts. I'd like to be surprised." That's nice.
That fits that Three of Wands. That statement right there.
I thought the same.
Standing on the shore and waiting for the ship to come in. Yeah.
Anticipation.
Okay. Gertrude's getting more vivid dreams.
Wow. Yeah, I don't really. Dreams are very rare for me. Very rare.
I'm sure I dream. I just don't remember them.
No, I had one, and I got a little message that I was going to get some big news, and it came really clear January 6th, and I was like, "Isn't that the full moon?" I guess it is. Yes, I get songs too, Rose. I get.
Oh yeah.
I get songs as well. I get songs as well. I think everyone's intuitive to some extent.
I was going to say.
I think everyone is truly intuitive to some extent. And if you'd like more of it, then ask for more of it. And
Willows. Yeah, Willow, like I said, when I got my first one a month or two ago, and I was on air when it hit me, it was like, wow, that was, and I didn't even know that's what it was. I started explaining what happened. I had 2 or 3 people all at the same time were like, oh, you just had a download. I'm like, okay, I don't know what they said, but
no, I get downloads walking down the street. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I get downloads walking down the street all the time.
I'm starting to, yeah. I mean, I'm starting to recognize them for what they are now.
Yeah. And you know what? Also, it's information. It doesn't mean to have to act on it. It doesn't mean to have to do anything with it. It's information.
Yeah.
And then, maybe later on in the day, I'll be able to utilize that information, or, so sometimes it's just information. It's kind of like, you're walking down the street and you're like, this isn't the right street for me. For whatever reason. I don't have to know the reason. Or I'll get a download on somebody walking by, but it's like, the more I'm able to see and understand things about all different types of people, it just gives me more compassion, really.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. When I started reading, actually decided to come on air and do this, and that's when things started happening on a much faster rate. And and there are still times when it doesn't feel like it's fast enough.
I don't think it's necessary. I mean, it's very helpful, but I don't think it's necessary.
I mean, and I'm the first one to say this. I've said it a gazillion times. I have a hard time meditating, of making my brain shut up for 5 minutes even and just sitting quiet. That doesn't work for me. So I've learned to just I take that 15 minutes in the morning, drink my coffee, smoke my cigarette, and I just sit. And whatever runs through my head runs through my head. I'm just
Yeah,
I don't worry.
let me
I
go.
don't try to stifle it. I don't try to, you
I'm
know.
running to the boys' room. Be
Okay.
right back.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting, Gertrude. Wow. Different entities. Okay, that makes sense. Different kinds of pressure. That would make sense. Yeah, I can see that. That's very interesting. I never would have thought of that. Thought of that. Um, what were you saying, Willow? Yes. Now I was too when and actually Diane from Diane's Tarot was the first one I saw, and I was floored because it was like political tarot that even exists, and it's a progressive point of view. I was shocked. Who knew? Um, and I started watching Diane, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Oh,
Um,
I drink so much water.
oh yeah, I hear you. Oh, and you missed this. Gertrude had said this earlier.
Interesting.
Yes, Jeffrey's his YouTube channel and his website for his artwork is in the description box below.
Yeah, it's called Ripecolor, just like you see on the screen. And Instagram too. I have a really pretty, colorful Instagram.
You can't do what, Lisa? Meditate. I
I'm going
think
to
that
be
may be part of my problem.
adding
Very
meditation videos to my YouTube.
Say that again.
I'm going to be adding, excuse me, meditation videos to my YouTube. Guided meditation.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Um, the first time I ever did a guided meditation with someone, and it was a live stream that he was doing it. And I was just kind of sitting there thinking, this never works. I don't know why I do this. It never works for me. And I just sat there and I closed my eyes and just started listening to what he was saying. The next thing I knew, I was like, zoom. I was in the zone. I was like, okay, whoa. The minute I realized I was there, I came right back out of it again. So it was like,
but
but it was easier to get back in there. Yeah.
It's a process. You get better at it. It's a practice. It's a practice. I've been meditating every day for like, I don't know, 20 years or something. And some days I go so freaking deep. And some days it's like, you've been sitting here for 15 minutes. It's time to get on with the day. And it's
That's
okay.
me. It's like when I try to, that's what I mean. My brain won't shut up. It's like I sit and, it's like my head starts going through the lists. You need to do this, 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 this before lunchtime. You need to take care of this, 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 this after lunchtime. It's like,
That's
okay.
wonderful, Trude. That's wonderful. That's really wonderful.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that's how I found out that I could channel. I've not technically really done it like I've seen other people do it. Maybe I'll do it differently. I don't know. but I was getting reading, and the person was channeling. And in the middle of the reading, he stopped and said, "They're telling me you don't need me. You can channel them directly." I was like, okay, how does that work? You know, so, oh, thank you, Gertrude. Gertrude subscribed to you.
Thank you.
I do not see auras.
Me neither.
Yeah, I have tinnitus too. That's one of my problems, Roses. My ears ring constantly. It never stops. And so it can be difficult to get past that sound.
It's so loud in this apartment, I wouldn't even know.
Oh. Yeah, I kind of like that. Envision a garbage can. You can drop your thoughts in. Honey, talk about my cup runneth over. I'd fill that sucker up in a second.
That's happened to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually not. Usually not, but it has. See, it's getting dark now. Now you can see that weird ray of light. See?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. I thought, oh, he got something
No, it's
on his lens. And then I realized, no, it
because I think
had to be
it's
shadow playing in.
7 o'clock is official.
Oh, well, I guess Willow's predicting I will be seeing auras.
Okay.
Is that how you say that? Auras?
Aura.
Auras?
Aura.
Aura.
AU. Like that's how it's like.
AU is more of an O sound.
Or is light, is gold, is. Yeah.
You think I would know that I'm down? I'm everything down here ends in EAUX, and that's pronounced O. Thibodeau, Boudreaux, Fontenot, go. You'll see things spelled out to go.
The good thing about
GEAUX, you know.
the good thing about Spanish is every single letter is pronounced. So reading Spanish is really, really quite much easier, and every single letter is pronounced. And once you hear a word, I mean, they're like the double L is a Y sound, but and then the B and the V are like there's no V. They don't make this as the V sound.
Yeah.
Like when you would like study Spanish, you would say vamos, but it's not correct. It's vamos, vamos. They don't
Yeah.
make the V sound. But so the V always sounds like a B. But other than that, and the G is different. But it's much easier than French. That
Yeah.
is.
I took Spanish for 2 years in college. My first year of Spanish, my teacher was from Puerto Rico. And her whole attitude was, I don't speak good English. You don't speak good Spanish. Together we learn. And she made it fun. It was like once a week she would bring food from
Nice.
home, like cultural foods that they ate in Puerto Rico.
Right.
And it was a blast. I loved that class. Then the next level up that I had to take for Spanish, and the teacher was from Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
And her whole attitude was, I came here, I didn't speak your language, I figured it out, you could figure it out. And
Well,
yeah, it was like two different ends of the spectrum on that. It's like, well, damn. And which is why I changed my major from liberal arts to something else, because I couldn't get through the foreign language. Oh, there we go. Bora Bora's got a plug up for you. Thank you, ma'am. Almost lost by ink.
Well, that's what's happening. That's what's slowly happening. The more I practice Spanish, like I'll be in the middle of a sentence with a friend who's, Mexican, and I'm trying to think of the word in English, and I know what the concept is, and I can't think of the word in English. I mean, the problem is I can't think in English or Spanish, and it's like I'm trying to get a point across. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what's sort of happening. But I need to practice more. I need more comprehend. I need more. I really do. I need more. I really do. But I'll get there.
Yeah. It just takes time.
I know.
Um,
Thank you.
yes, he
Thank you.
does.
Thank you. Thank you.
I first saw you on, I think you just popped up on my feed one day back a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, something like that. And I watched a video and I was like, oh, I like this guy. He's very in your face. You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't no BS. Just put it out there. And I started watching your videos, and the more I watched, the more I liked.
Thank you. Thank you.
And but because I don't like beating around the bush. It's like don't have to be rude about it, but just be upfront about it. Just
I
tell
don't
it.
really, it's like the culture. I don't really know another way to be. It just doesn't, I don't really know another way to be. Not that I really want to be another way.
No, I like you like you are.
Yeah, me too.
Blanco, what? It must be for you because I don't know what that is.
Well, Blanco is white, Chica is girl, que flaca. ¿Qué es flaca? I know I should know that word.
Blanca.
Until I turn my phone on, forget it. It has all this stuff now. Oh, we need your thing. It's like I'm a spy on my own phone. I can't even answer a flaca. I know that word. Skinny. Skinny white girl. Right.
Well,
I'm the
that
only,
was never me.
gringo. I am the only gringo in my neighborhood. So I feel like, I feel kind of special.
There you go.
I'm really the only gringo in my neighborhood. I really am.
Oh my goodness! When I lived in Phoenix,
Some of them look at me like, "What's he doing here?" And then the other ones look at me like, "Respect." Right? Very interesting. Because I can't, I have green eyes, so like they know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I have blue eyes, so sometimes they're gray, sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're green. It
But the
just
light eye thing, they know. I
my
mean,
husband
there are
used to say I had
Mexicans,
mood eyes.
there. I mean, on occasion you do see a Mexican that looks like us. But
But yeah, there's a lot of blonde hair, blue eyed Spaniards,
yeah,
So
yeah.
uh,
But here it's mostly mixed.
yeah,
Yeah, but they know. But it's okay. It's all right.
yeah, that's me, Willow. I am short and stout and very filled out. I'm at the point where I'm almost as wide as I am tall. So they just roll me down the hall. I'd be like, what's her name that turned into the blueberry in Willy Wonka? Was that a person hollering or was that a coyote yowling?
No, you know what? I think this week is a big week for them here. So a lot of people take off this week. So
Okay,
visiting, there's visiting.
I gotcha.
Yeah, because a lot of people they go like the whole family. They go to the beach for the week. Um, there's a lot of that. It's very, very family. oriented here. It's a big deal. It's like really an institution. So,
Cool.
you go with your family, you know, yeah,
Oh yeah, they're very, very, very family oriented.
yeah, very traditional.
Yeah, no. I
And
mean,
it's a lot of children. There's a lot of kids in this building, a lot of little kids.
yeah.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
Hi, Shockwave. You slipped in the back door there. I had a lovely Christmas. Thank you. And Anita, I'm not even going to try. Sorry, Anita. I'll butcher your name. I'm just not going to go there. My mouth does not want to work tonight. I am not seeing any other
No, maybe it's time to.
questions. Hi, Rondell.
Thank you.
We certainly will, Shockwave.
Hmm.
Without a doubt. Better late than never. You got that right.
Well, go back and watch it.
Don't forget, after the show, go back in and leave a comment in the comment section, because that boosts the algorithm. Hit the like button.
Really boosts the algorithm, from what I understand.
Yes. Hit the like.
Yeah, both is
Hit
even
the
better.
like button. So,
All right.
and please go over to Jeffrey's channel and like, subscribe, and share there as well. It's all down in the description box. And yeah. Rose, they're asking, what is your father's first name? So they can specifically pray for him. Oh,
I'm not doing political questions.
yeah, we're not going there tonight, darling.
Gertrude, yes, I believe so, because that's what I think happens to me when I write, and for you, you're lucky you could type. I can't type. So yeah, I do believe so. Yeah, I mean, if it's dictated, then it's dictated. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know whenever I write stuff, it just flows. But I've always been able to do it. So I guess that's why I'm not writing now, is because that would be something that I would question, because it was always something that I could do. Yeah, some people, it's just not their thing to write. It might be your thing to talk, or to do different kinds of artwork, or to just meditate. I mean, my goodness, I know you meditate for hours on end. I know people who do that. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So
All right. I'm getting tired, Sharon.
my stomach's starting to growl. I haven't eaten yet today. My son went and got a hamburger. It's in the fridge for me. You gotta go nuke it. 5 hours.
Here come the dogs.
The dogs.
Yeah, you hear them?
Oh, I thought that was in my neighborhood. Okay, I must be hearing them.
Yeah, it's just I
Yeah,
actually
I hear them now. I hear the little one, the high pitched one, and I hear a bassier one.
all right. I think the dogs are calling me. They're telling me
Who let the dogs out, huh? Okay, walking meditation. There you go. That's something different. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Been an hour and 40 minutes. Wow, I didn't even realize we were here that long. It certainly didn't feel like it. Thank y'all for coming and listening to Jeffrey and me ramble and talk and
yeah, we hope we were
our
helpful.
2 cents worth and what did you say?
I said I hope we were helpful.
Yes, very much so. I hope we were helpful. Thank you very much, Jeffrey, for coming on. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Mama Bear. All
But
right.
Mama Bear snuck in. Oh, hey, Mama Bear. Bye, Mama Bear.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank y'all very much for coming. It is greatly appreciated.
Oh, and I'm offering a special one question reading for $30, like 15 minutes. It's on my website.
You go. Okay, y'all heard that. Go and contact Mr. Jeffrey. And
I'm getting golden now that the sun is setting.
see, even the sun is cooperating and lighting him up so that you know this is where you go for your answer. 1 week. Oh, I can't even talk anymore now. 1 week special, right? Isn't that what you said?
I'll see how it
No
goes.
time frame, just special. A special till he says it's not special anymore.
The reaction that and then I'll go back.
There you go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Thank you.
Jeffrey.
Thank
I had a wonderful time with you.
you. Thank you.
And we will see y'all in the next day or two. I will be back on air Thursday with Dally, the Wolf Girl Oracle. And we're going to be talking Vikings and
Cool.
Celtic paganism and all kinds of cool stuff. So
That's cool.
that ought to be fun. She might even wear her outfit. She has
Yeah.
a whole pagan ritual outfit for like pagan ceremonies. It's really fun to watch.
Cool.
You'll have to come back. We're gonna be meeting at like 11 a.m. Central Time, so it's in the daytime. So thank y'all. Good night. Jeff, you got anything coming up?
Well, please, I do daily readings. I do weekly readings. I do monthly readings. I do lives. I'm going to be adding meditations.
He's a busy man.
January 10th, I'm going to be on with Danny Bathrobe Tarot.
Danny's a sweetheart.
Yeah. Oh, and I do weekly readings with Nancy Jean.
I have not
hers.
had the pleasure of meeting her yet. I love to watch her, but I've just not.
She
like
does
met
5 stones, and I do 5 cards on the energy of the
Yeah.
week. Yeah. We used to do
I watch
dailies
y'all.
at weeklies.
I watch it. Usually it's in a rerun, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a busy YouTuber, that's for sure.
All right, folks. Y'all have a good night. Thank you again.
Blessings.
Namaste, as Jeffrey likes to say.
Namaste.
Blessed be, as I like to say. We'll see y'all in a day or two, or maybe later. Who knows? Bye, everybody.
Bye.